Hello and welcome to the show. Today on our Nurburgring challenge I've got the Dodge Viper ACR, one of my favourite cars of all time. The challenge is to try and drive this around the Nurburgring as quickly as it did in real life. The target time then is a 7 minutes 12.1. A very, very quick lap for a road car. It's a phenomenally fast lap time that was set by the Viper, so it's going to be a pretty damn tough challenge for me to go as quickly. Now, to aid me in this, the actual lap time was set by a Viper running basically road legal race tyres. So for this, I've allowed myself to put on the sport tire, yes, I think they're called sport tyre upgrade. This is not running on slicks in Forza, this is running on the tier down from that. It's as close as I can get to the tyre combination. Yeah, I can't really do much better than that. The target time is mighty quick for an A-class car. The Viper with the tyre upgrades is towards the top of A-class, but it's not maxed in A-class. So a 7 minutes 12 is pretty quick. It's very, very quick. So yeah, this one was likely to be quite a difficult one. The Viper is, though, in my opinion, one of the best handling cars there is in Forza 5. The Viper and the 360 Challenge are, to me, some of the most perfect handling of vehicles, especially now that I've stuck this one here on the slightly more grippier sport tyres. It really does drive just phenomenally well. No, it's not going to be as quick as a 787B, and it is quite a difference going between the two. For example, it's 180 miles an hour here in the Mazda, 120 in the Dodge. 120 miles an hour through that corner, though, is mighty quick for a road car. This thing really is got huge amounts of grip. Again, we're flat out all the way down here. The Mazda was doing 208-ish through this corner, not quite as quick, 150 miles an hour in the Viper. It's only 10 miles an hour slower through that corner than a McLaren P1. That's how much grip you get in the Dodge. It's a remarkable car, this one. The reason why I like this vehicle so much is that the back end of the car does not move around whatsoever. The only time you will ever get oversteer in this vehicle is if you are being a moron with the throttle, which can be done. In Forza 5 cars generally have less grip, so you can be a bit stupid with the throttle and you will get an ACR Viper to slide around a little bit. It doesn't like to, though. It doesn't like sliding around, this car in particular, but at high speeds the back end does not let go. You do not get any oversteer, and that's one of the things that annoys me about supercars the most, when they do that, and it just does not happen in the ACR Viper. Regardless of what tyres it's on, in standard the car doesn't do it, and with these tyres it definitely won't do it at all. Which means that I can really push this car. I feel very comfortable driving the Viper. In fact, in all the practice laps, I don't think I had any worse than a couple of trips across the grass. It really is. It's a very easy car to drive, very forgiving car to drive, very easy to learn racetracks with this vehicle, because it's just so hard to do anything really completely stupid with it. It's got so much grip. It's so incredibly forgiving. You can chuck it around corners and it will stick to the road. Now, the downside to that is that the car can have a bit of understeer. Now, I have, I guess, a slightly strange driving style, I think, to a lot of people. I like a car that will not move around at all. And the flip side of that is if a car does that, they tend to understeer a little bit. And yes, the Viper will understeer. Some people don't like that at all. Daniel and Husky have completely different driving styles to me. But in the case of the Viper, it means that I can push this car with absolute sort of confidence around the lap. If I'm taking a little bit too much speed through a corner, rather than the back end wagging around, I just get a little bit of understeer. I can deal with that. I can get that all under control, and I don't lose anywhere near as much time as if the car starts sliding around. You can carry such... That's another corner. You can carry such incredible corner speed with the Viper. Other cars just can't take the sort of speed that this thing can. The other downside to the Viper, not the quickest car in a straight line, with the amount of downforce, the amount of aerodynamical drag, I presume that's what it is anyway, with the ACR, is not massively quick in a straight line and down this bit here. It's not going to set any speed records, but it is very easy to be flat out through here. There are no concerns through this section. Again, it's a brake and a downshift. You can turn in through this next corner without... There's almost no drama in some respects to this car. It doesn't look hugely scary necessarily. You can carry a lot of speed, But yeah, there's no huge leery sideways moment. You're not fighting for control of this car. It's very easy to get it around a lap of the track. The time is a tough one. You have to really push the car, but you're not fighting for control of the vehicle, if that makes sense. I get things a little bit wrong at the carousel. I'm not entirely sure though that you lose too much time by doing that. I ran a little bit wide. I'll break myself a little bit, ran a bit wide. But you can kind of like slingshot back down the banking, so I'm not sure I'd lost very much time. And I had the rest of this sector was very quick as I was gaining time on my personal best. So yeah, I'm not sure you lose a huge amount of time. As we come into the more technical section of the track, this is where the Viper is really very good. These sort of medium speed corners. This is a 600 horsepower supercar. Normally I would say a Viper is a super muscle car, but the ACR is sort of a track version of a super. It's a supercar basically. It's a lot of horsepower in a rear wheel drive car through second and third gear corners. Back end does not move around. It will only move around if you are stupid on the throttle at low speeds. Occasionally over some bumps. And there are a few bumps here that are going to be a little bit nasty. The other impressive thing about this car is it can deal with the curbs. We've seen lots of problems. That curb there almost spun out the Mazda on my fast lap. I can attack it with the Viper absolutely fine. For some reason, the curbs just do not cause a problem for this vehicle. A number of the faster cars, the 360 Challenge and the McLaren, can't go near the curbs, so it will just throw the car around. This, it doesn't matter. I can use all of the track. I can be really aggressive on the curbs, and the Viper's absolutely fine with it. I don't know quite how it does that. Again, through here, this 140, I think, 150, I'm bouncing over the curbs. I can use just a tiny bit more of the track than any other car, because the Viper can deal with it. I don't know how it does that. I'm still confused as to how it does that. But it can get away with it. As we come up towards the end of the lap now, it's still great corner speed through here. The bumps just threw the car a little bit sideways there, but it's really very controllable through this track. It's a brake and a downshift into this final corner, and then I think it's mostly flat out. Might be a tiny lift around this corner as we come onto the back straight. And again, this is where the Viper does just start to struggle a little bit with all of the drag. It gets up to about 160. It'll be doing 170 by the corner. It's not massively quick in a straight line, particularly. It's one of the slower cars we've had down here. But of course, when we do get to this corner, there is no questions at all that it's flat out. I also kept it in fourth all the way down here. Gearing is a little long on the Viper. Fourth all the way down here. Change to fifth as you start going down the hill. You get the most speed out of it by doing that. It is flat out through this chicane in the Viper. You don't put on the brakes until you get out to the other side, and then it has an impressive stopping power into this very slow final section. One more corner to go in the Viper. Again, absolutely no dramas around that one, and then it is just a run to the line, and the Dodge has completed its lap. It's a very nice car to drive. I thoroughly enjoyed driving this vehicle around the Nurburgring. Very easy to get the hang of the track with this car. Very forgiving car. I really do recommend this and the 360 Challenge. If you're looking for cars, maybe if you're a bit new to Forza, these are a great choice of cars to learn some of the faster tracks and learn to drive some faster cars. Very forgiving, this vehicle. Anyway, on to the lap times. The target time was a 7 minutes 12.1. I managed to do a 7 minutes 11.1, only a second quicker. It is a very tough time to beat with this car. I did a lot of laps that were in the high 12s, low 13s. It took a bit. It took a bit to get this lap time done. It is a really tall order for the Viper to go that quickly around the track. It can be done. It's good fun. It really is. As I said, I did not have very many incidences at all with this car. It's just actually getting the lap time together, carrying enough corner speed through some of the places here. Pretty daunting with this car, but it's not hard. It's not a hard car to drive. It really is a fantastic vehicle, the ACR. Also very good value for money, 110,000 credits, and it laps the Nurburgring that quickly. That really is quite impressive. Anyway, that is it for this one, guys. Or at least that is it from me. The onboard footage shall be here in a minute, so if you want to watch that, then you can. However, until next time, goodbye.